Okay, so what we're looking at is our 1985 Grady White 249 Fisherman with twin V6 Yamaha two-strokes. 150's. That's Mike. He's the one who picked out the boat. We bought this as our project boat to see if we can get it up and running and in good condition. We've had it for 5 months. So things we've done to it so far is when we got it, the exterior, the sides, they felt like they were plastic, that the gel coat had been sitting so long. So we've sanded that down over the course of 3 days, and now it kind of looks like gel coat. We've cleaned the cushions in the interior and cleaned out the interior. A lot of scrubbing and elbow grease. We've replaced the control panels with acrylic. We've replaced the covers to the live wells with acrylic. When we bought the boat, Mike, turn the batteries on. Yeah. The engines would not last more than 50 yards in the water. They would run pretty well out of the water at a high idle speed. However, this engine simply would not turn. It was apparent whoever had it had never taken care to lubricate these joints, and in the course of trying to get this lubricated, we had to use a heat gun. We broke the Zerk fitting and had to replace it, and over the course of a month's time we finally got it to turn left and right. We've also replaced the fuel water filters, got rid of all the bad fuel, new poppet valves, new thermostats, new spark plugs, new fuel filters, new fuel pumps for each engine. We took apart this left engine, and I'll get into that in a little more detail, taking the water jacket off completely and cleaning that out as that was clogged. Right now we're going to look at this engine because we think there's a water leak, so there's a gasket that may not be good, and it seems to be stalling out at idle. So over the course of the next few days we're going to replace the gasket and clean out at least one side of the V6 and do a first cleaning of the carburetors and replace all the replaceable part in one of the engine's carburetors to see if that takes care of the issue.
Can we show them a tour?
Go ahead, give them a tour and tell them what they're looking at and what we've done if you can remember.
Okay. So the first thing we have done what we've done is, as you can see, these are clear through, see-through acrylic, and we replaced it with wood, I believe, right?
No, we replaced the wood.
That's what I said. We replaced the wood because all of this was wood, and so we replaced it with see-through. What did we do? Paint this?
That's just painted temporarily. We're going to have some nice acrylic, dark acrylic pieces fabricated.
Yeah. Okay. And then this right here, it was all like rotted, so we replaced it. And what did we do to this?
Well, they had that, and we'll put in some pictures of what the boat looked like when we picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually an empty spot. They only had a small bent up piece of plastic covering it, so we took some marine grade plywood, we fiberglassed it, and then we put a couple gel coats over it. Yep. We're kind of new at that, so that's as good as we got it to look for now.
Yeah.
And we'll eventually cover the decking to make it all look quite a bit better with possibly some of this new decking material.
Okay. Plenty of space. Now, favorite thing I like and love about this boat is that there's just so much storage. I mean, look at all this. You can catch big fish, put like ice all over here, and you just put the fish in there. Okay. We have more storage over here. We have all of this. We have this, which we hold our fishing rods. So I think that's pretty neat about this boat, and really glad we got this boat because this is just awesome. And then this was an add-on because before we had all of the anchor holder, you know, we just had it in there. So, and last but not least, we have, you know, the cooler. So.
Okay, shut the video. So what we're gonna try to do now is, you can see this head in the area of the spark plug looks clean, no rust. I think we're getting some water leaking because these spark plugs are the same age, they're rusting out. So we think the gasket over here is bad. There's a missing screw, so it may have been stripped or something we need to remove. So we're going to try to take care of that now, and we'll videotape the progress to see if we have any success. These are new spark plugs.
Yeah, I'm gonna record. You keep on doing it.
They look a little rich.
Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
A little rust there. Holding this backwards, so I was taking video of me
Really?
looking at it.
You said these upper ones too.
Yep, that's the thermostat up top.
Okay. Didn't we get a new thermostat or no?
Yeah, that's the new thermostat, but we got to take this whole cover off to clean it.
Going live.
On the thermostat. It's a new thermostat, but it's gunked up a little bit already.
Yeah.
There we go. It looks good, actually.
Yeah.
Looks like we
I
did.
think we did, yeah. Oh. Oh, that's so gunked up.
Yeah, so we gotta clean that.
Guys, look at this.
It's probably never been done. It's a 1991 engine. That's not actually bad for an engine that's used in salt water only. But as you can
Looks
see,
like.
I mean, there's definite stuff in there.
Yeah.
The gasket's a little...
Ooh.
It's not terrible, but it's pretty... Looks like we got some clams growing in there.
You think this one was worse than this engine?
No, I think
No?
the engine we did earlier was worse.
Huh. You know, we could get cleaning foam, because I know they have that cleaning foam. You spray it on here, rub it in and
We've tried vinegar. We tried red lime. I think what works best is a hard brush, a wire brush,
okay.
and elbow grease.
Hold on, I think we do have. Do you know the pick?
Yeah, we got picks.
Where are they?
In the toolbox. This one does have some of it protruding, so we might be able to get something to grab it. But first we use our favorite. I'm gonna go get some PB Blaster. This is Surface Shield.
So disgusting.
I think that broken bolt is where the water leak was coming from, because it's
Probably.
high up and it'll get all the, watch out, it'll get all the spark plugs.
You could make an ASMR video out of this.
I don't even know, what is ASMR?
ASMR is like kind of like satisfying sounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just all quietness in a way. Or you could do a satisfying video. Look at this.
Now you don't want to scratch any of the edges, because this is where the two pieces of metal meet with the gasket. So you don't want to.
Ooh, look at that.
Look at that one.
That was a good chunk.
Now we could change the whole cover and
Yeah.
get to the engine heads, but we're just going to do this one for now, because this engine's not had a real overheating problem. It was more that water leak we wanted to get over.
This was the one with the overheating problem.
That was the worst.
Ooh, look at that.
For that one, we took this off and bought new covers.
Yeah.
So we took this completely off, got a new cover for the water jacket, cleaned this out, drilled out some of the passages with a drill, and that worked on this engine pretty well. So one thing we gotta remind everybody is that we call things by the wrong name. I use the term screw when I meant bolt, and we're changing the head cover gasket, not the head gasket. The head gasket would be down in here and a little bit deeper. If your boat is overheating though, you may have to pull that out and clean that too, because that also contains the flow of water for the system. What are you doing?
Cleaning the
Head cover.
head cover.
Okay, so we're now putting together the cover. So we put in the bolts, we put in the new gasket, and as you can see, each bolt position has a number that corresponds with how you're supposed to tighten them and the torque on each bolt. So we'll be putting these in finger tight and then using our torque wrench to get them in properly, starting with a lower torque range going to a higher torque range as we move to final assembly. We're then going to put in the thermostat and do the same to that. We'll put a little lubrication around the thermostat housing so it's easier to get out if we need to next time. So today we're going to try to rebuild the carburetors. This is a 1991 Yamaha V6 and we bought it about 5 months ago. We don't know the history well. The gentleman we bought it from spoke limited English and had only owned it for 2 years, and it was obvious that little was done in that period of time. So we're going to give it a go. First thing we do is obviously remove the air intake cover, remove the linkages between each of the carburetors, remove the gas lines to the carburetors, and then remove the 3 carburetors. And the linkages that we gotta disconnect, those typically pop right off with these plastic parts holding them together. And then we remove the fuel lines over here to each of the carburetors. Now we need to take lots of photos so we know exactly what it looks like to put it back together. So for the top carburetor of the 3, we've gone ahead and removed this linkage. This linkage we popped out. We removed the gas line little what's it called, zip tie right in here to remove that. And then there's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts. We'll be removing those to remove the top carburetor. So here's what we look like after we just removed the upper carburetor. Now I'm going to remove these one at a time as I work on them separately, but eventually they'll all have to come off before I start to reassemble them. Here's the carburetor after it's been removed. And surprisingly, one of the bolts came out as opposed to staying in the assembly. And I removed the gas line from here, making it a bit easier than trying to do it underneath the carburetor while the carburetor's still on. So now we're rebuilding the carburetors. We put rebuild number 1 and have it in the clean box. We've soaked them in Chem Dip. And now we're number 2. We have the bowl soaking. The remainder of the carburetor, we've taken it apart. We have the rebuild kit from Yamaha.
It's greasy.
And Mike's over here just starting to take apart number 3, which would be the lower carburetor on the engine. So essentially we're taking it all apart, soaking it, cleaning it, and replacing it. The kit comes with new floats, new valves, and new gaskets, as well as new needles. I'm ready.
Alright, we're going.
So Mike has removed the bowl, removed all the fittings in the bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4 fittings, 5 and 6. They're over here. You gotta be careful because you gotta put the right ones in. For example, this screw has little holes for fluid to go through. Mike's also taken apart the float, the needle hanger. So we're gonna replace those with everything on the kit. From the main body of the carburetor, we have removed most of the fittings. And we're gonna dip it and then put it all back together with new fittings, new needles, new gaskets. Hopefully we'll be able to run a little bit smoother. All right, grab your bowl cover. Find these two.
Okay.
Okay, are they identical? No. Make sure, no, these two, Mike. Right over here.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so we hopefully this changes the idle speed a little bit because I've adjusted it as much as I can on
Yeah.
the screw.